destroyed, and the death toll from Friday's quake now stands at 96. Well, it's hard to believe, but seaweed has impressive healing powers, and now Australian researchers have found extracts of the marine algae appear to regrow damaged brain tissue. Nine's Emily Rice reports.
Seaweed has long been used in food as a fertiliser, even in cosmetics, and now it's proving a potential tonic for brain trauma. Dr. Richard Williams from RMIT University has used properties of the marine algae to heal damaged brain tissue.
The reason we've used seaweed is seaweed's a biological polymer, it's natural, it's not synthetic.
In the lab, Dr. Williams extracted anti-inflammatory sugars and proteins from the seaweed, combining them to form a gel-like brain scaffold. When injected into the damaged organ, seaweed-derived solution scalp prevention.
What we saw was the cells around the wound site behave like normal cells. So what we're doing is naturally helping the brain to start its healing processes again.
Seaweed is harvested and transformed into a biopharmaceutical by Tasmanian company Marinova. The business is also excited by the RMIT research.
This is a great breakthrough, and what is particularly remarkable is the fact that it's a natural seaweed derivative at the heart of the discovery.
The next step is to trial this seaweed therapy in humans with cognitive damage in the hope it will help brain-injured patients get better faster.
A day out from the launch of the new iPhone, Apple is having to deal with a series of embarrassing leaks. The highly anticipated announcement will apparently include 3 models, the 8, 8 Plus and the iPhone X. But all eyes are on the iPhone X, which will reportedly feature Face ID scanning, using sensors to recognize a person when they look at the display. It will also include a messaging app that will create emojis reflecting the user's expression. The new marvellous day for a group of cricket fans who climbed the Sydney pitch under the comedic commentary of the Richies with this year's Ashes series by battling to the top of the bridge as commentators dressed cricket icons again I watched on. What a beauty. Still to come on your afternoon news, the shocking new statistics on drowning, the warning all parents need to hear. Also caught on camera a plane dramatic crash landing. And set free, Sydney's stranded shark returns to the Great Deep. That's next.
Good afternoon. Some very dangerous bushfire conditions are on the way tomorrow as the northwesterly winds gather in speed and the mercury soars into the low to mid-30s. Right across northern New South Wales and into southern Queensland. There's a prefrontal trough that is going to move in. We're seeing some high-level clouds move through the region at the moment, but once this moves in during tomorrow, we're going to see a little bit of instability, so some patchy showers, and there is the potential of a storm flaring up along that trough line, so there could be some lightning about, and that's another dangerous situation to have with the bushland being so incredibly dry. The cold air is on its way. That'll come through on Thursday, dramatically dropping temperatures. But tomorrow, it is going to be a hot, summer's-like day across the entire region with those patchy falls beginning to develop across the northwest with a few storms potentially embedded in that. You can see the mercury soaring into the low to mid-30s, hot across the board, including the tablelands.
All-in-one burning body oil. The all-over body oil that burns, even skin tone, nourishes intensely and reduces the appearance of scars. Voted best new body oil.
The Monopoly game at Macca's. Fuel for a year. For Europe.
Home insurance is great value. Plus, claiming is so quick. The kitchen flooded the other day, and now we're already back in and cooking again.
Double takeaway.
Woolworths Home Insurance has a 24/7 claims line. Plus, you can pay monthly at no extra cost. And save up to 30% online. It's big home insurance cover at supermarket prices.
That's why I think Woolies.
So, how does your mortgage rate stack up? Yeah.
Don't settle. Go beyond with a Beyond Bank special low-rate variable home loan.
Flame grilled prime rib steak is what we're famous for. Head to Hogs for the bona fide 18-hour slow-cooked prime rib steak. Customized just how you like it, with delicious dishes for every taste. Head to Hog, Australia's steakhouse. At Jeep, we're committed to the driver with our there and back guarantee, including 5-year transferable warranty, 5-year Capra servicing, and lifetime roadside assist when you service through Jeep. So you can rely on us to get you there and back.
What time is it? Why am I naked from the waist down?
Big Bag, the night out with a flock all night.
The number of children under the age of 4 who drown each year in Australia has been labelled a national disgrace. A new report reveals the family backyard is still the most dangerous area. Here's Laura Tunstall. Well, this report has been released today by the Royal Life Saving Society, and it has found that over the past financial year there have been 291 drowning deaths across Australia. That is a 3% increase on the year before. The most alarming statistic to come out of this report is an increase in the number of young children who have drowned over the past year. For children under the age of 5, there were 29 drowning deaths, and that statistic is up 38% on the year before. The majority of these were drownings that occurred in backyard swimming pools, and the Royal Life Saving Society says it should act as a timely warning for parents and pool owners.
But it's vitally important people maintain their pool fence, check their gates before summer, and reinforce the importance of constant supervision of children around water.
Now, this report shows it is in fact rivers that saw the most amount of drowning deaths. That is followed by beaches. And as the weather warms up, Australians are being urged to choose a safe spot to swim, to pick patrolled beaches, to always swim between the flags, and to choose aquatic centres anywhere that has a lifeguard on duty. Last season was a particularly shocking season for drownings, particularly in New South Wales. It's hoped that this new report will create some awareness, particularly as we head into this year's swimming season. New work is underway to protect Parliament House, with large pieces of steel security fence installed across the lawns today. The 2.6-metre structure is part of more than $126 million in security upgrades planned for the iconic Canberra building. The United Nations Security Council has this morning issued a fresh warning to North Korea over its ongoing nuclear threats. It has unanimously adopted a resolution for further sanctions on the secretive state.
We don't take pleasure in further strengthening sanctions today. We are not looking for war. The North Korean regime has not yet passed the point of no return. If it agrees to stop its nuclear program, it can reclaim its future.
These new limitations come just a week after the rogue state's largest nuclear test. While the following footage does look very dramatic, incredibly, the pilot of this light plane managed to walk away from this crash without serious injuries. He had been attempting to land at an airport in Connecticut when his Cessna clipped a tree and crashed down into a car park. The 79-year-old pilot said he was thankful the crash wasn't worse. Very lucky indeed. A landmark trial has begun in the federal court in Melbourne today to decide whether poker machines are rigged. Nine's Laura Surway explains.
This is being hailed as a David and Goliath-style battle, a landmark trial on behalf of a woman named Shonika Guy, who is taking on Crown Melbourne Limited and poker machine manufacturer Aristocrat. Now, she says that she started playing the pokies at 17 and only got on top of her addiction when doing further research into how the machines worked.
Aristocrat manufactures the Dolphin Treasure Poker machine, one of the machines that Guy liked to play, which lawyers argue is designed to deceive and mislead consumers. This case involves actually purchasing one of the Dolphin Treasure Poker machines and dismantling it. The Guy will allege it is constructed unfairly and deliberately deceives patrons on their prospects of winning, including an uneven number of symbols on each reel and one reel being bigger, therefore reducing your chances of winning.
For too long now, we've been told that it's our fault and we are the only ones to blame for pokies addiction. I want this case to show that the machines are misleading and the industry knows that their machines are addictive.
Lawyers in the Alliance for Gambling Reform are hoping this case highlights what they believe are grossly unfair practices within the poker machine industry, and also that the industry continues to exploit vulnerable and problem gamblers in particular by designing machines that are deceptive.
It's incredibly important for so many people in Australia who lose $12 billion a year in pokies, lives wrecked, marriages broken up, crime, bankruptcy, kids going hungry. The pain is enormous.
The Alliance also says that Australia has 20% of the world's poker machines. This trial is set down for 3 weeks, and this guy is expected to give evidence on Thursday. The cost of catching a taxi in New South Wales is being reviewed as competition from the likes of Uber puts increased pressure on fares. The Independent Pricing Tribunal is looking into the maximum fares companies can charge for rank and hail services across the state. Experts say the review will help protect customers from excessive charging while allowing taxi companies to provide a wider range of services. It's been a wild day out for kids at Brisbane's Lady Sorrento Children's Hospital, with the patients treated to a special visit from some furry friends. Taking some time out from their hospital stay, the children met wildlife legend Bob Irwin and were allowed to get up close with a koala, dingo, and despite doctors' advice, they even managed to smile at a crocodile.
I mean, if we can bring a little bit of joy, just for a short time, to them, makes it all worthwhile.
The visit was part of a segment for an upcoming episode of Juiced TV. Well, free at last. That's the case this afternoon for the great white shark, which caused a commotion when it washed ashore at Sydney's Manly Beach. The 2-metre predator, which was kept safe in a marine pool by marine experts, was today released back into the ocean after its captivity. It's hoped the shark will enjoy the big blue enough not to return to land. Still to come on 9's afternoon news, finance and the latest weather. Right now, though, here's a look at what's happening in tonight's news at 6. Hello, Natasha Bailstock with you. In the news tonight, 3 years since William Tyrrell disappeared from outside his grandparents' home at Kendall on the mid-north coast. A new plea from the police officer in charge of the investigation. A father speaks outside court after his wife and son were killed in a horror road crash. A power play in federal parliament, Energy Minister Josh Frydenberg and Hunter MP Joel Fitzgibbon in a Canberra corridor clash over the energy crisis. Devastation and heartache across Florida after the worst of Hurricane Irma, and a small plane hits a tree and comes off second best. The news coming up tonight at 6.